Hello, welcome to Writing Quest. My name is Brennan Pugh, and in today's episode, we're going to talk about how I've been in a writing funk, what I'm doing to get out of it, and where the story stands so far. Huzzah! Okie dokie, people. So I've been in a bit of a writing funk, and part of that has been because I've been really working on the outline of the whole series. So it seems maybe that's counterintuitive, but honestly, I was stuck in parts of the book because I knew that I wanted it to pay off later, but I didn't know how. And so I kind of had to get a general outline of the entire series so that I knew where to go in certain elements of each book. Because what I want to avoid is I don't want to retrofit things. I don't want to go back and try to I'm in this book of book 9 and part of book 9 and I want to do this. And now how do I make that work with what I've already written? I don't want to do that. I want to have it planned out so that everything is super tight and it works really well. Now, what that did, unfortunately, is it kind of made me get in my head a little bit. So now I was stuck, unable to write well because I was trying to it was really in my head. I was like, well, I can't write that because what if this happens? What if that? So anyways, I've been in a funk. If you've noticed, I haven't put out too many words recently or updated the Wattpad much because I'm just trying to kind of get out of my head. What am I doing to solve that? Well, a couple of things. One is I'm backing away from the whole outline of the whole series. I've got enough done to where I know the main elements. I've figured out the things where I needed to go. And so I'm backing away from that, kind of disengaging. The other part is setting up that, getting back into my daily writing practice so that I have a specific time when I write, and really focusing on making sure I'm just keeping this one book in my head so that I'm just reviewing it, reading it, going over it, making sure that I'm kind of staying in the headspace of this one book for sure. Which can be hard, but especially with the series situation, I'm kind of catching myself thinking over here. And so that is something I'm working on. I'm really diving down on the music I'm listening to. So I'm listening to certain Joe Blankenberg is one I'm listening to, Two Steps from Hell. Basically just picking a couple artists and creating some playlists that really help focus me on the specific scenes. So that's really been a big help for me. But ultimately the big one is, now that I've got that big part, I'm backing out and I'm just focusing on the smaller book. How I'm facilitating that. So I'm going to have a video about this soon about how I'm using the program Scrivener to write. I've moved over to Scrivener from Notion. I'm still using Notion to keep the projects organized as far as where everything stands and word counts and all that kind of stuff. But as far as writing, it was getting a little cumbersome in the way. And I felt like if I went back to Scrivener, I could focus on the one book. And what's also nice about Scrivener is that you can break down your chapters scene by scene. You can break it down basically as much as you want to. So scene by scene, chapter by chapter. And I've found for me, I got to get out of the global picture. And so I'm getting really granular. And so in each chapter, I'm just having little scene cards. So each chapter has at least 3, one for the beginning, middle, and end. So I'm really focusing on I'm just writing the beginning of this chapter so that I'm kind of blocking out the rest of it so that I can focus on that and actually get it written. Otherwise, I've found it's too much to think about and then I just get bogged down by all that stuff. So I'm trying to clear the mental headspace. We'll have a video about how I'm using Scrivener, so you can check that out. It's a great program. It's actually what I originally started writing. Not really. I used Microsoft Word for a bit. And then I realized I needed a writing program and I used Scrivener. I'd used that for a long time. So definitely going back to that to focus in on the books individually, probably what I'll do going forward. So I'll use Notion to keep track of the story elements and which characters are where and scenes and all that stuff. But I'll do the actual writing in Scrivener. The other side of that too is with Scrivener, the exporting options of getting the book out. You can actually export in all the different formats that you would need to get the words out into a manuscript format. And so that'll be useful down the road. So with that, I am getting very close to having an entire full outline of the series, and I'm really excited about that. I don't know how much of that I will share as far as content of the books, because at this point, I want to focus on just giving you the details of book one. I don't know if I want to give away all the spoilers of the entire series. However, I will show you how I'm using the program Notion to build. I built a table, and I'm using that on different views and different ways to look at the information to keep track of the whole series. So I'm really excited about that. It really helped focus me around everything that needs to go into this story. I think that's the hardest part about writing, is there's so many different things to keep track of and know that was just a really hard part for me. So maybe it's too complicated for others, but it's really good for me. I really like it. So I'll do a video about that, breaking down how I'm using Notion. Again, I have one video about that. Now the system has evolved, so we'll go into that. So as far as the story, guys, I'm really excited about the story. I think it's going in a great direction. The theme of this whole thing is kind of order and chaos, and the internal struggle that we all have with the good side and the dark side, and how do we, reconcile that with ourselves. So I'm really excited about it. I think as the series goes on, there's a lot of cool, this character's a good guy, but they're kind of becoming a bad guy, and then this bad guy's becoming a good guy, and everyone's just kind of, exploring those dimensions within themselves, which I think it's just going to come out to be a really cool story. And then, of course, figuring out just the grander scheme plot of like how they travel. There's certain parts that are like a travelogue. There's certain parts that are more like political thriller in nature. And so there's just a lot of elements, and it's been a lot of fun figuring that all out. So if you haven't checked out the book, please go to Wattpad and do that, listen to that, read through it. I think it's going in a really cool direction. I'm excited about the main characters. I'm excited about how it's all coming together. When we first started this, if you watch some of our previous videos, like how the magic system worked wasn't quite figured out, and then which characters were the main characters, and why are they even doing any of this, and what's going on. I just think I'm really excited about how it's all coming together. And I think it's going to make the character Ro be a really cool character that people connect with, because she's got these, different mentors in her life, but she's got this other side of her that wants to be adventurous. But then she also realizes she has it's just kind of all these different things that I think are super cool. And so the story is sitting at about 20,000, 25,000 words. I kind of got knocked down. I was closer to 30, and then it got knocked down because I was... I cut some things out and redid some stuff as I outlined it. And so, but I have a full outline going forward, as I said in the last episode. So we're going to get to the writing. We're going to write, getting over that writing funk. And we'll be posting all of that on the Wattpad, so you can read and check that out and follow along with us. So that's it for this episode. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel for all of the updates to the story. We are excited about it. Hope you are too. So follow along, and we'll see you next time on Writing Quest. Huzzah!